Welcome to The Dice Tower, a video podcast about board games and the people who play them. This is a special episode of The Dice Tower in which Tom and Melody Vasel talk about their top 100 games. And now, here are your hosts, Tom, Melody, and Holly Vasel.
Welcome to The Dice Tower. Hi, welcome to The Dice Tower. We're going to continue our top 100 games. I like this game because you're trying to find matching things, and it's a little bit of memory, and you're trying to find matches of the two pockets.
Right, this is actually a double pocket thing, so you stick one hand in each pocket, so Melody will do that, and you're trying to find a match. So let's say, for example, I'm telling her, find a match of two airplanes. Can you do that without looking? That's a hairbrush. Airplanes. Oh, that's a dinosaur. See if you can find airplanes in the thing. Stick your hands in, and it's neat because it's a dual pocket thing, and so you got to make sure that there's one of each. There's a few other rules on how you score. Another dinosaur. Now stick both hands in at the same time.
Oh.
You stick both hands in at the same time, and then you're going to pull out two airplanes.
One airplane.
One airplane. Okay. Well, you're not doing a very good job here at finding shapes, but that's okay. Little kids will get a big kick out of this. They get to find these shapes, and
Woo!
yeah. But you look at all the things you pulled out that weren't airplanes. So you get to do that, and kids will like finding the different shapes, putting their hands in the bag. It's a lot of fun to play, even though it's a hard game to pronounce.
Laura and Spy.
Are you sick? No? You are? Well, it's a big deal right now because the H1N1 flu, or swine flu, is a big deal here, and everyone's all worried, does someone have the flu or not? And so I guess it makes a game like Pandemic more relevant. We must cure these viruses. Now, the diseases in Pandemic are much more deadly, and although, of course, being represented by cubes maybe isn't quite so deadly, but Pandemic is a fantastic game and makes my list easily because it's a great cooperative game, and I have taught so many games. In fact, after Ticket to Ride, this is my new game of choice to teach new people because I've been finding that there's a large majority of people who don't play board games who really get a kick out of playing cooperative games. I'm telling you folks, make a good cooperative game and people will enjoy it. Pandemic is a very well done one. In fact, I suspect that when I get the expansion for Pandemic that it's going to go even higher on my list on how much I enjoy it. But I'm telling you, it's just fun trying to cure the diseases. It sounds maybe more gruesome than it is because you're doing something that who is going to say there's a problem with this theme? You're trying to stop diseases. Yeah, go team, go us. And I guess, with different things going on, it feels very relevant, and it's also tons of fun.
I like this game because you're trying to pick the fish of the same thing of the card.
Yeah,
The hint is follow the line.
All right, well, let's look here. Let's say, for example, I turn over the top card here, and I'm trying to catch this fish. So Melody and I are going to look as fast as we can without touching, and we're going to look at all the lines that are on the table, and eventually we're going to touch a line that we think has our fish on it. So I'll touch this fishing pole. I think this is the one that has it. And Melody will touch one too, once she figures out where it goes. Okay, once we both got one, we both pull our strings. And did I get it? I did, and so did she. But if there was more than two people playing, no one would get it. But we both did a good job, and it's fun because these strings, you would think this would become one big, nasty, tangled mess, but it really doesn't. They pull apart very easily, and it's a lot of fun as you try to trace them. And, there's 3 different colors which will help you differentiate, but still there's multiple fish, and there's a few pieces of trash in there that you don't want to get those either. And so the first whoever gets the most fish is the winner. A lot of fun, and Melody, why do you like it so much?
Because you're trying to catch fish.
What are you?
A wolf.
A werewolf? You know, Werewolf did not make my top 100 last year, and you know, after thinking about it, I just can't imagine why it didn't do it. Werewolf is a game that when I get a bunch of teenagers together, I can play it with them and I moderate with them. It's one of the most loved things that I do when I get together with youth. It is always requested that we get together and we play Werewolf. Everyone enjoys it tremendously. And Ted Osbach did Ultimate Werewolf, which is the best version of it so far. Check out my YouTube video clip of one of my classes playing Werewolf, and you'll see just how much fun the kids have. It also works well with adults, and don't get me wrong, I think you can use it with adults, but I'm telling you, with kids, and this is the best set. You can play up to, what, 40 or 50 people. I've actually done that, and while it's not as good as with 12 or 13, what's amazing about Werewolf is it works with all different groups. And if you use lighting and sound effects, it can be very, very tense. It's a game that when you leave, you thought, I didn't even know this person. I thought she was innocent, but it turns out she was a werewolf. And things like that, the stories, the amazing things that happen during the game just crack me up. So do yourself a favor, get a copy of Werewolf.
A werewolf. I like this game because you're trying to make other people to get the hungry fish to eat their fish.
Yeah, it's fun. This is basically a straight up game of pushing your luck. So you have a set of cards here, and you turn over your top card in your turn, and you put it in front of you. Okay, that's a fish there. Melody gets to keep that fish, and now she can draw again, or just keep that fish. So she draws again. What does she get? Another fish. Is it the same size? So she doesn't get to keep it. She gives that to her neighbor. And he gets to keep that fish. Now she can draw again. And when she does, it's the same. Too big for her pile. So it again goes to her neighbor. So she draws again. And now she gets a hungry fish. Show the hungry fish here. The hungry fish eats her fish. And then that fish is placed in the middle of the table. And the next person who gets 3 of a kind of that fish is going to get that whole pile of fish in the middle. And that fish and the fish, are you confused yet? Because I keep saying fish a lot. But basically, you want to draw fish and not draw these hungry fish and draw sharks. You can keep going as long as you want. It's pure luck of the draw. Lots of fun. I think it's highly entertaining to put all these cards. You actually spread them all over the table, and you're trying to draw cards that are the ones you need.
Rawr.
Is it fun to get the shark?
No.
In a sense, Battle Stations is on the wrong list here. Because Battle Stations, yeah, it's a board game, but it also really feels like a role-playing game. Because in it, I have sourcebook and character sheets and charts. But at the same time, you're putting these charts together and building a space map on which you're flying your spaceship around. So each player takes the place of one of the crew members on the ship. You might be the gunner, or the marine who boards enemy ships, or the pilot of the ship, or the engineer. There's a lot of Star Trek jokes that are made every time I play the game. It's a fairly complex game, although not too complex in RPG terms, but it does require some preparation from one person, and because of that preparation, it's dropped a little lower on my list than it used to be. But I still think it's a fantastic game. I wish the components were a little better, but there's still something about just how immense this game is. I'm showing you all this. There is a ton of game in this box, and they keep coming out with more and more supplements for the game, and there's just so much that can happen. One guy could be shooting the gun out of the ship, and a pod from another ship can land, and people are boarding your ship. The engineer's trying to pump engines. You're trying to avoid hitting an asteroid. All this can be happening at the same time. You get to build your ship any way you want, and each expansion comes with new modules that you put in your spaceship. It's fantastic fun. I only wish I got to play it more often. Alright, well, thanks for watching the Dice Tower with us today. We'll see you guys next time.
I'm Melody. I'm Holly.
And I'm Tom Vasel. Alright, have fun, guys. I'll see you later.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.